I'm Chris.
I'm Tina.
I'm Vivian, and today we will be teaching you about the Solver tool in Excel. The Solver tool is used to find an optimal solution within a set of constraints. For example, businesses can change around their budget numbers up to their budget limit to see how the change will affect profit. No other program that we have covered in class has a tool that is similar to this. For our problem today, we will be helping a coal factory meet demand while keeping the total cost low.
So now I'm going to go over the problem with you and show you how to add the solver in Excel. Simmons Inc. wishes to minimize the total cost of producing and transporting coal from its mines to its plants. For example, to produce a ton of coal at mine 1 and ship it to plant 1 would cost $59, $50 to produce it and $9 to ship it. The objective is to formulate a linear optimization model to help Simmons meet demand at minimal total cost, and enter the model in Excel and use Solver to find the optimal distribution plan. Now that you have the question, you are going to open up Excel to download the Solver. Once you've opened up Excel, you're going to click on Tools, then click on Add-ins, and check the Solver add-in box, and click OK. Once you've done this, the solver has been added and you are ready to start your problem.
So now that you've seen what our problem is and how to add the solver to your Microsoft Excel, I'm going to show you guys how to fill in all the information and how to actually run the solver to find the solution to the problem. So I've already set up this table just for time's sake. Now I'm going to plug in all the information. So as you can see up here, we have the cost section, and that correlates to this table here in the problem. So this is how much it costs to move from the power plant to the mine, etc. So I'm going to fill in that information in this table to match the table here on my right. Okay, so now that I've filled in that first table, I'm going to go down here and you see I've put a place for capacity and demand because those are the constraints of the problem. So I'm going to take them from over here and fill them in. So that was the supply, and then this is the demand. Okay, so now we have those two done. Now we need to enter the formulas so the constraints know what they're calculating. So for here, shipped, so the shipped is going to be the sum of everything in its line. So I'm just going to enter the formula, sum. I'm going to select these cells and hit enter. Now I don't have to add this in each time because I can just drag the rest down as we've learned in class, so I'll do so. And it's going to be the same thing for here, except for going up. Now for this cell, it's going to be a formula that we actually did not learn in class, and that's going to be the sum product. And basically what that means is it's going to times all of these cells by all of these ones. So we're going to do enter sum product, and we're going to choose all these cells, put the comma, and we're going to do all these cells. All right, so now we have, oops, this table is not all the way filled out. There we go. Okay, so now we have everything set up, and now I'm going to show you guys how to use all this information in the solver. So you're going to see up right here, I'm already on the data tab. It's not going to be on your home tab, so make sure you go to the data tab. and then I'm going to go to solver. Okay, so once you have the solver open, what you're going to do is you're going to first need to set the objective. So if we look over here, our objective is to formulate a model to help them meet demand at minimal total cost. So we're going to go look for total cost here on the spreadsheet, which I've conveniently highlighted gold, and we're going to go ahead and select that. Now we want to do the minimum, so we're going to choose this min here. Now the next thing this needs to know in order for it to solve is it needs to know which cells it needs to change. So which ones are going to be the variable cells. So if we're going to look here, I've graded these out just so we know. Since these are the only numbers that are unplugged, we're going to go ahead and choose those as the changing variable cells. And this is basically saying, you know, what quantity of what do we want to ship at these costs to make it as low as cost as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and just choose this table. All right, so now we have that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go add constraints. So this problem has two constraints. It has the capacity constraint, which is the capacity of each mine, and it has the demand constraint, so how much is demanded in each location. So the first thing we're going to do is go to add. Now we want the ships to be less than the capacity because, you know, the factory can only hold that much, so it wouldn't be able to ship more than it can hold. So we can select all of these. We don't have to just choose one cell. And we're going to keep it at this less than or equals to sign because it's going to be less than this constraint of the capacity. So we're going to choose constraint, and we're going to select these four cells. And we're going to go ahead and select add. Now we have to do the same thing for demand, except for this time it needs to be greater than or equal to the demand because they need to at least satisfy the demand. So we're going to choose greater than or equal to, and it's at constraint again, and we're going to go ahead and choose these because these are the demand constraints. So once we have our constraints, we're going to go ahead and get back to this page. So I'm just going to double check I put everything in correctly. So the objective is this total cost cell. We're changing these cells, and we have our two constraints. You always want to make sure it's non-negative. That way, you know, it doesn't give us a negative number here because that wouldn't really work with this problem. There's not really a negative coal that you can have. So everything looks good. I'm going to go ahead and choose solve. And it's going to take a little time to run. Do I want to keep the solver solution? Yes, I do. And there you have it. It will cost them $3,545 before applying the production costs to ship all of this coal. Now this can be useful, you know, mainly in like production. You know, if there's factories, like I know the cereal factories use this, and they use these massive ones where it takes a day or two just to run because they want to figure out how much cereal to make and how much to ship to each location. So this is really big in production and manufacturing, but it's also good if you just ever have some numbers that you want to optimize. You know, if you're ever in a situation where you need to count a certain amount of things and you want to figure out, you know, like what resources to put where, then this would be a good tip for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed our video. Feel free to leave any comments or feel free to hit that like button, and we'll see you guys later.